When I was mired in diet culture, I was encouraged by my doctors to do these really extreme diets and was sort of given the message that if I ate perfectly, then I would be cured. Everything would be healed, I'd be healthy. And so I would go on these really restrictive, diets for like long periods of time. And then I would, quote, like fall off the diet, fall off the wagon. Then I would not feel well. So I had this idea that certain things were like causing, inflammation in my body and causing all of these problems. And then I had a lot of shame about it. And it just really perpetuated like this cycle for me. By the way, I'm Tiffany North. I help people heal their relationship with food and body using attachment theory. I had this experience finally when I was starting to heal from diet culture where I would often eat like tortilla chips with just like melted cheese on them. I would have this experience. I had this really stressful experience and in, hard week or hard day or whatever it was. And then I would be like, I'm going to eat chips and cheese. And then in the morning I would wake up and I would feel bad, like physically bad. I thought, I eat emotionally, I binge eat, and then I, eat things that don't make me feel good. And then I feel bad and it's all my fault, right? Like there's something wrong with me. I'm just an emotional overeater. Finally, one day I was doing a lot of work around shame and I was, really working to like figure out how to feel my emotions and be with myself and whatever. And so I came home, I'd had a really stressful day. I didn't eat the chips and cheese. I just like sat with the emotions and I had this big kind of emotional storm and all these like feelings. I think I probably cried, I don't know. And the next day I woke up and I felt bad. And I was like, oh, I think I'm having like an emotional storm and this is kind of an emotional hangover. And that was just such a light bulb moment for me that it wasn't the chips and cheese. It was this like emotional buildup and spillover and not really knowing how to like regulate my nervous system and just having these kind of big storms. So it was really interesting to learn that because then I was able to see like I needed to know how to process my emotions more regularly and I needed to like be able to support my nervous system and I needed to be more resourced. I probably needed therapy, right? And I needed to like not overwork and rest and do all of these things. And sometimes I'm just gonna feel bad and it has nothing to do with what I've eaten or what I've done or I haven't done, right? Sometimes your body's just like maxed out and it's gonna feel bad sometimes. So it's so helpful to learn that and quit blaming it on the food. Often we associate something with food that is part of a particular pattern, then we decide it's the food that's the issue, when really it's just something that's happening alongside the food. So this is often true with emotional quote unquote emotional eating. I actually rarely, I almost never use that term, but a lot of clients who come to me will use it. The thing that we kind of associate is like, I get emotional, I eat all this food and then I feel bad. Really, a lot of times it's like, I get emotional, I don't know how to resource myself. I also might be overly hungry or be restricting food because the restriction is part of it as well. Then we have this like pendulum swing of eating things that were restricted or eating in a way that feels out of control because we've been so restricted and our body needs that food. So what we want to do when we're having these patterns is really slow things down and look at like, first of all, am I eating enough? Am I getting enough rest? Am I restricting? Do I have like shoulds around this? And then work on like just eating regularly, feeding yourself well, allowing yourself to enjoy what foods that feel satisfying, eating foods just because they're fun sometimes, right? So no restrictions, no shoulds. And then we really want to look at what else is happening. Oh, every time my mom calls, XYZ, or every Friday night after I've overworked all week, I'm exhausted and my body's just trying to like get some energy somehow. Yeah, I've been like suppressing all these emotions and now I need more soothing. I don't know how to soothe my nervous system after stressful experiences. So what is it that is actually perpetuating that cycle that's happening rather than blaming ourselves for eating food and thinking it's bad and, blaming it on the food. And then kind of following it through. Do I feel terrible afterwards because I'm shaming myself about what I've just eaten? How much of that like bad feeling is related to the narrative or the idea that there's something wrong with us because we ate in this way? And then when we can get rid of that, we can really look at like, what actually is the need here? What's the unmet need? Is it a boundary that I need to set with someone? Maybe it is an emotional type of, using food in an emotional way. Again, that's not bad. It's just not meeting the actual underlying need. Is it that I'm not actually getting enough food in the first place? So then I have this like pendulum swing where I'm eating a lot of food all at once because I'm having this like primal hunger. Is it that I'm restricting all these things and then my agency and autonomy and my joy and satisfaction is being squashed? When we can disassociate feeling bad with I must have eaten something bad or eaten in a way that was wrong, then we can really look at like, oh, what's driving this pattern and what else might be actually going on? What might I need to support me? Rather than try to like white knuckle it and just not eat the food, you still have the other need. All right, I hope this was so helpful. Follow me on YouTube if you want to check out more longs and shorts, and feel free to reach out to me if you have a specific question. I'll try to answer it. Be sure to subscribe if you want more information about becoming securely attached with food, your body, and yourself.